Hello, this is Jeremiah Manise. This is the first video from the Joint Blogs, The Conservative Homeschooler, and Freedom of Religion 2017. What we commonly hear is the term separation from church and state when we ask why biblical signs are so vehemently attacked. But this veil is just hiding the truth that left-wing liberals just don't want you to hear. Now today, I will be talking about the facts, and nothing but the facts. Yes, I will be saying what the founders meant, but that is based completely upon history. So the actual words of the First Amendment are, quote, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Now what the founders meant when they said, quote, respecting an establishment of religion is that people were, for the first 1,790 years, there was always persecution. Romans persecuting Christians, Christians persecuting those who did not believe, Muslims persecuting Christians, Christians persecuting Muslims, Catholics persecuting Protestants, Protestants persecuting Catholics, Christian persecuting Quakers. The one constant has been a state religion. Not that a state building has 10 commandments on it, but if there's an actual church in the government, run by the government, receiving tax money, and if you disagree with the church, you risk being persecuted. The founders wished that this would not happen, but that is how it is viewed. Quote, to messengers Nehemiah Dodge, Ephraim Robbins, and Stephen S. Nelson, a committee of Danbury Baptist Association in the state of Connecticut. Gentlemen, the affectionate sentiments of esteem and approbation which you are so good as to express towards me on behalf of the Danbury Baptist Association give me the highest satisfactions. My duties dictate a faithful and zealous pursuit of the interests of my constituents, and in proportion as they are persuaded of my fidelity to those duties, the discharge of them becomes more and more pleasing. Believing with you that which is a matter which lies solely between man and God. Sorry, everyone. Okay. There. Believing with you that religion is a matter which lies solely between man and his God, I was account to none other for his faith or his worship. The legitimate powers of government reach actions only and not opinions. I contemplate with sovereign reverence that act of the whole American people, which declared that their legislature should make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, thus building a wall of separation between church and state. Adhering to this expression of the supreme will of the nation on behalf of the rights of conscience, I shall see with sincere satisfaction the progress of those sentiments which tend to restore man to all his natural rights, convinced he has no natural right in opposition to his social duties. I reciprocate your kind prayers for the protection and blessing of the common Father and Creator of man, and tender you for yourselves and your religious association. Assurances of my high respect and esteem. Thomas Jefferson, January 1st, 1802. This is the mention of separation of church and state that liberals hold so close, calling it constitutional, just because they like it and the third president of the United States wrote it. But what it and he actually say is that the government cannot legislate the reduction of religion, separating the state from the church. So the state can itself in the matters of the church. But, and it happens today, the church has the ability to involve itself in the matters of state. This is shown by an article by Forbes where he shows the real meaning, saying, quote, our nation was predicated on unalienable rights, with governments through family, church, community, each rightly sovereign within its sphere. Human dignity, legal equality, and personal freedom reflect biblical values imparted on Western civilization, which retains these values in secular form while expunging their author from public discourse. Americans are frequently reminded of what the revisionists deem our greatest achievement: separation of church and state. Crosses are ripped down in parks, prayers has been banned from schools, and the ACLU rampages to remove under God from the Pledge of Allegiance. Moreover, separation of church and state is nowhere found in the Constitution or any other founding legislation. Our forefathers would never count the restrictions on religion exacted today. The phrase separation of church and state was initially coined by Baptists striving for religious toleration in Virginia, whose official state religion was Episcopalian. Baptists thought the government limitations against religion illegitimate. Thomas Jefferson and James Madison championed their cause. And the article goes on to show how what true meaning of separation of church and state was to me was separate the state from harming your religion, not the church harming the state. What this shows, because the state is always made up of religious people, there's no such thing as a secular government because of this. Now, Alan Clifton disagrees, where he says in his article, explaining freedom of religion for those who seem unable to understand what it means. He started off with a sarcastic statement. In this country, there are very few individuals who can rightly call themselves constitutional scholars. Sure, though, people know a decent amount about our Constitution, but being an expert on a subject is a completely different thing. But wow, when it comes to politics, it seems everyone suddenly becomes an expert on the Constitution. What he forgets is how simple the Constitution is. It is laid in writing. That's what the founders wanted them to do. Now, he goes on to show things like the First Amendment and Thomas Jefferson's letter. Now, he says in the Treaty of Tripoli, written by John Adams, as the government of the United States of America is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion, but in multiple other quotes, that is not true, as John Adams would disagree with this quote. But also, yes, the government is not a Christian religion based on Christian religion, but it's based on all religions. Not saying that it can be secular is wrong. Now, he brings up the example of homosexuality. If as a Christian I believe homosexuality to be not immoral, I'm right. Just someone who calls themselves a Christian yet believes homosexuality to be a sin is a right as well. The only thing he forgets is, as he says later, now if that person wants to tell someone else that they must follow the definition of what Christianity is by supporting laws which force them to do so, that's a violation of the First Amendment. But the government, which is so-called secular, forgets this and pushes the religion on somebody, not giving them the free choice of religion to accept somebody's thing or not. What we must remember, yes, everybody, as long as it doesn't harm somebody else, can practice the religion. But if you make somebody else have to do it, that is not freedom of religion, that is oppressed religion. Now, thank you, and I hope to publish a few more videos in the upcoming weeks to inform you on what the liberals are hiding from you. Thank you.